Okay, we're back. Oh my God. All right. So anyway, as I was hanging out with this lady, I became like a church freak. We went to church 6 times a week. And this is in the midst of me, and she actually was going to the same school that I was. So we went to school together. We became very, very close. Her and her daughter became good friends with my 2 boys. We lived in the same building together. It was so great because she lived what she believed, and she became like a role model to me. She was a teacher to me. So anyway, and I was only 19 years old, and I knew that Bible front to back. I studied it. My longest fast, and I don't care who don't believe me because I know I did it. My longest fast was 4 straight days. No food or water. Nothing. And I can remember I would eat Tic Tacs when I was at school, and I would chew them up, and I would spit them out. I didn't swallow anything edible. And I prayed like I was hardcore. I got so close to God. It was incredible. One day, and my friend, her name was Faye. So one day, me and Faye got our kids together, and we were taking the bus. I don't know where we were going, but we ended up, and she was from Chicago, so she didn't really know the city either. And I still, like a lot of stuff, I was doing my best, but I didn't know everything either. But we got on the bus, but we got on the wrong bus, and we went the wrong way. And we were kind of looking around like, we're going the wrong way. So we pulled the wire, and we got off the bus because we were going to cross the street and take the other bus to go the other way. And it was so crazy, man. We got off that bus, and we saw this house, and we saw 2 or 3 men working on the side of the house, and there was a for rent sign. So me and her, we kind of look at each other, and at that time, the city, and they still do now too, they offer what's called rent assistance. And the social workers that I was working with at that time, I think she worked with the school or something. I don't remember. But I was considered a catastrophic case, so they bumped me up to the top of the waiting list, and I was granted rent assistance. So me and her, we saw this house, we saw the men working, we saw the for rent sign. So we went over there, and I remember there was this guy on a ladder, and I looked up at him, and I said, do you take rent assistance? That man came off that ladder so fast. And he said, yeah. And he said, but I have another apartment that I would rather you see than this one. And he said, that one, I just finished the remodel of that one, so would you mind going there? And we were like, yeah. So I ended up moving into his other apartment. And it was so pretty. It was the best. Man, I was so proud It had a backyard. We lived upstairs. It was a 4-family house or building or whatever, and I lived upstairs, and the kitchen was so big. The floors were new. I had a little balcony, and my favorite part of that apartment was the balcony overlook, like across the yard and across the alley. There was a school there, and the playground was right behind there, and it was an elementary school, and I loved it so much because I could open my balcony door, and I could hear all the kids playing and laughing and running. I loved it so much. I loved the summer. And the more I prayed and the more I relied on God, things started happening for me. And it was just one thing after another. There was this night, the hallway and the hallway stairs and everything was it was very steep, and the bulb had gone out, and it was really high, so the landlord hadn't gotten over there yet to change that bulb. So I had become real good friends with my 2 neighbors that lived downstairs, and one girl, she was from Mexico, and then the girl under me, they were from Puerto Rico. And although it was a 4-family house, the door across from my door upstairs, I think he used that as just storage. So really there was only 3 families in there, and I had the upper level by myself, and I loved it. But one night I was going downstairs to visit my Puerto Rican neighbors, and I was by myself, and the light was off, and it was pitch black. It was so dark, and I was walking slowly down the stairs, and I noticed at the bottom of the stairs there was like a face. It was like a light, and I could see like somebody. It was, I can't describe it because I can't really remember, but I just remember seeing this lit up face, and none, it wasn't clear, but I could see something, and I kept going down the stairs, and I didn't feel no kind of way about it, like I wasn't scared or nothing. So I went down the stairs, and I turned the corner, and I turned the next corner. So when you turn that corner, you have a choice. You go right, and I went into this neighbor's apartment, but then you go down this teeny little other hallway, and that was my Puerto Rican neighbor's door that I was trying to get to. But there was another door between their doors, and there was stairs that went straight down, and it went into the basement. And I must have just moved there. This must have been really early on, because I was still kind of feeling my way around. I was still kind of learning the building, I guess. So I went down the stairs. I had seen this thing, and it must have faded or something. Maybe I just I glanced at it or something, but I kept going out, and I turned the corners, and I got kind of disoriented, and I was in this little hallway, like in the building. It's pitch black, and I'm still kind of like, crap, what, so this was like a split second of something a little bit unexplainable, I guess. If I took a step forward, and there was a door, and I knocked on the door, and it was the right door. But it wasn't like that. It's not that simple. I was headed toward the wrong door. I was headed toward that door and that door was open. If I had taken a step that way, because it was like right straight ahead of me, I would have fell down them dang stairs, and it would have been good. That would have sucked. But it was like, I don't know, man. Because even at the time, I was like, how did this door? I ended up right in front of her door, and I felt the door, and I knocked on the door. I don't know, man. It was not. I don't know, because I was in front of I know I was. And I knew it at the time, because I just remember thinking, how did Daisy's door get? How did I just go to the door? I wasn't even. It was just weird. It was like something guided me to the right door. It's kind of hard to explain, and I don't know, but I just felt, I think God, He really helped me that night, because I was going toward them stairs, and one wrong move, I would have tumbled, and her door was just right in front of my face, and I hadn't even gone down that way yet. It was like this little hallway. I don't know, man. But things like that, and other types of things, like I would get bumped to the front of lists, or something would happen for me that didn't make sense, that would help me along, and I cut off all ties with him. I no longer, because this is back where there were no cell phones. So when I moved from that apartment, I had a new number at my new apartment. So he didn't have my number. And you know what? In my other video, I said we didn't write letters. But I think maybe toward the end we must have. We did, because he had written me a letter and I didn't answer it. You know what? This is an edit to my old video. We did write letters. I don't know for how long, but I remember now, because I didn't answer his last letter, and that was unusual, because I always did. I always tried to stay on his good side. Okay, so I had the courage to leave him alone, and he got released, so he got out of jail, but now he didn't know where I was. So when I found that out, because I kept tabs, I always kept tabs on where he was, so that I knew where not to go. So when I learned that he had gotten out, my fear came right back. And then because I remember going to bed one night, and my stomach just, man, I had knots in my stomach. It was so bad. I was so scared. And you can feel like your heart just beating so deeply. And I would listen. I would listen for that rock to hit my window. And it was just consistent terror. But I went to school. I didn't stop going to school, and I kept going to the laundromat, and I kept going to the grocery store, And I never once ran into him. He never knew where I was. And then one day I took me and Faye and all our kids. We went to this, it was like a little thing for the kids. I think it was by a hospital or something. I don't know. But we, like, Blue's Clues was there, and, like, you know, costumes for the kids and face paintings, you know, thing like that. But there was a fence around the building, which meant where we were in all the festivities, there was a fence around it. So the people that were waiting in line to get in, they were on the other side of this fence. And you probably already guessed, I saw him. I had my boys beside me, and I happened to look, and he was right there, God. And I don't know, I won't say I was scared, but I was surprised. And by that time, I had been in the church for a minute. I was strong. And I don't know if he had already seen me or he saw me after I saw him. I don't know. But we saw each other. And I went over to the fence. I took the boys, and they got to see their dad and all that stuff. But I told Faye, I was like, Faye, he's here. He's in the line. She saw him, and she's like, you know, we were both like, let's go. So before he could even get in the fence, me and Faye went out the exit on the other end, and we were gone. So he would have never caught us. He never found us. Because look, they'll be all nice on the side of the fence. How you doing? I miss you. Look at my boys. You know, they'll be real nice till they get to the other side of the fence, and then their hands are around your throat. So don't fall for that lovey-lovey. No. I've changed. I realized what I had when I had you. You don't know what you got till it's gone. Woo. No. Yes, people can change. Yes, sometimes people need another chance. Not him. No. When you get out, stay out. Block him from every angle. And I'm telling you, man, God had me. He protected me from one end to the other. I would pray about things. Let me tell you this little story. One morning, we didn't have a whole lot of food. And I had a box of pancakes, and I wanted to make pancakes for my kids. And there was just a little bit of pancake powder at the bottom. And I was like, man, this ain't going to be enough. And I'll just get to the point. That little bit of powder at the bottom of the pancake box, I made 8 big pancakes. It made more than enough to feed myself and my kids. And, you know, a lot of times I didn't eat. You know, moms don't always eat, because you got to make sure you got enough for the kids. But I ate too, you know, but it was enough. And don't get it twisted. God didn't let us starve. I'm talking all this, God did that, and then I'm saying we had no food. No, it may have been maybe I you know how you have to wait to get your food stamps. It might have been like toward the end of the month, whatever. No, God didn't let us starve. No, ma'am. Do I look? Well, that was a long time ago. I was really skinny, but no, baby. We had food. I'm just saying we had got to the low of the low in the cabinets. But it just, man, God will bring something out of nothing. He'll bring a whole lot out of a little bit. I've seen him do it so many times. But he will provide for you. What I'm telling you is, make up your mind. Number one, make up your mind to leave the man. Make up your mind you're going to do it. You're going to follow through. Number two, make the steps with people around you, organizations, things that help you. Don't put 100% faith in people, though. You're going to have to do some stuff on your own. Now, I will say, there were people trying to help me that couldn't help me because I kept making the choice to go back to him. People cannot help you if you don't want the help. So you got to want it. Number three, when you get on your feet, you're away from him, and start God now. Start God right now. Through step one, through step two, and when you get to step three, allow him to take one. Look, that saying, God is my co-pilot, no. God is the pilot, and he owns the plane. You just ride. Let him guide you. Let him make moves for you. But you have to believe in him, and you have to want him. Watch what he's going to do for you. I've had so many scars that had to heal. I've had how I survived, God, because he has plans for all of us, and he knows what those plans are, and they're for good. We make the decision to turn from him or to disobey him or not trust him, whatever it may be, but he's right there. So when you make these decisions and you follow through, he's going to take it. And he's going to help you. He's going to help you be safe. You don't know what's going to pop out of nowhere to help you. But you're not going to know if you don't try. And like I said last time, you have to choose your pain. You're going to be scared with him. You're going to be scared outside of it. And today, I have no fear of this dude. He could walk up on me right now. I have no fear of him anymore. You know, and I'm not saying I want nothing to happen to him. I don't. But let me tell you, if you pray about a situation, God may not move you. He might move him. You don't know what might happen to this guy. Because when you choose God, you become one of God's people. And God makes it very clear. You do not touch my kids. Now, if the creator of the universe is threatening and telling you, you don't touch mine, you don't touch his kids. Don't touch his kids. And if the guy you're leaving is foolish enough to do that, then he's in God's hands. Now God is going to make a decision. And I know what you already, but I don't want God to hurt him. I don't want, stop crying over this man. You over here with a bloody face. What? No. I do this because I love you. I was just so jealous. I don't want you talking to anybody else. No. Leave this man. And you know what? When I left, I had things that maybe I had to leave behind. I don't care. You can get better stuff. That stuff. Get your kids. Pack your little stuff. Pack their little stuff. Get your favorite teddy bear and hit it before it really is too late. Alright. I'm here if you need me. You know what to do to get in touch with me. Leave it in the comments, whatever. But you can't continue. You can't continue that life. And especially if you do have kids, that's not fair to them kids at all. So do what's best for you and your kids. All right, I'll see you later.